everyone, and welcome to episode 95 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen, and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 7, and Jasper, who is 4. Today is Thursday, the 20th of May, and it feels like I haven't recorded a podcast in a very long time. So huge apologies for the delay in getting round to recording a podcast. We'll start off quickly with hello and welcome. Welcome back to anyone that watches regularly. Hello to anyone that's checking the podcast out for the first time. For anyone that is new and doesn't know me, I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, and this is my crafting podcast where I basically talk about whatever crafts and projects I'm currently working on and that kind of thing. Today is Thursday. I have spent the morning over my dye pans dyeing self-striping, so if I'm a little bit flushed and shiny, it's because I've been standing over a steaming pot all day long. I've also got slightly wrinkly fingers. But yeah, I haven't been able to record at the weekends recently. So a couple of weeks ago I had a really rotten cold, and that put off recording because you didn't want to listen to me talk to you when I sounded as full of cold as I did. And then with things opening up again around the world and around the country, weekends are getting busier, as you'd expect. And with the weather, I say the weather getting nicer, we've had rain for like the last week. But, you know, with the weather kind of looking to improve as summer comes around, we're tending to do more at the weekends, which is making recording at the weekends a bit tricky again. So I want to try and get into a habit of recording during the week. The only problem with that is that I can't use the office, which means my normal kind of podcast area isn't actually available to me during the week. Hence, we're in a slightly different location. I haven't got studio lights set up, although I am sat right in front of a window, which you can kind of see reflected in the glass behind me. You get like a triple window effect. What was I trying to say? I haven't got studio lights set up, but I'm hoping that being in front of the window, you should get decent lighting anyway. Let's just see how it goes. Right, what have I got for you? What have I got for you this episode before I start the episode on just tangents all over? So we'll start off with a little announcement section, a little chat about the make-alongs that we've got running at the moment. I've got a couple of finished objects to share with you. I've got a couple of works in progress to talk about. I've got a couple of new cast-ons to chat about as well. I was going to talk a little bit about some blanket progress, a little bit of Yarny Goodness to share, a tiny bit of shop news to chat about, and then I'll finish up this week with a little bit of kind of life stuff, life news. Right, so let's get straight into the announcements, shall we? It feels very weird to be sat here recording, and I'm wondering if you're a little bit high. Can we tilt you down a little bit? I think that's a bit better. Anyway, right. Make-alongs. We have got a few make-alongs running. We've got 2 make-alongs running at the moment. The first one is just the Giddy Yarns make-along, which is my ongoing make-along. So any project that you're working on that uses at least 50% Giddy Yarns is eligible to enter for prizes. You can enter in the Ravelry Group, you can enter on Instagram using the hashtag GiddyYarnsFO, or you can enter in our Mighty Networks group using the topic. All the details of where you can find those places and all the details of how to enter the make-alongs and everything will be in the show notes, which are down below the video on YouTube. That's the Giddy Yarns make-along. The next prize draw will be at the end of June for that one. We also have the book-along running as well. So basically, any craft, it's not just knitting or crochet, or it's just any craft that you are currently doing, any project that you can relate in some way to a fiction book, whether it's inspired by the character, whether it's inspired by a book, if you can make it, tenuous links are always acceptable. Any project that you're working on that you can link to a fiction book of some kind is eligible for entry. And again, you can enter in the Ravelry group. I think I've set up finished objects threads over there. I'll have to double check. I've not been in the Ravelry group for a little while. But you can enter in the Ravelry group. You can enter on Instagram using the hashtag, which I have not written down. Yes, I have. Using the hashtag GYBookalong. And if you've got a finished object to enter, you just stick an FO on the end of that hashtag. I'll pop it on the screen. And you can also enter in the Mighty Networks group as well, because we've got a topic over there. I've shared a couple of lovely prizes that we've had donated, which I don't actually have downstairs with me at the moment, but we had a lovely skein of die candy yarn donated from by Eva of Perth Festival of Yarn. And we also had a couple of copies of the Little Tranquility Shawl, which is a gorgeous new pattern by Anne of Thistle Glen Designs, inspired by Little Women. And I will no doubt provide Yarny prizes too. I just haven't thought that far ahead, as always. So the deadline is the 30th of June. So you've got until the end of June to get your projects finished and get your prizes in your threads. Your prizes entered. You know what I mean. That's the make-alongs. Shall we move on to some actual crafts now? Some actual things. I have some finished objects to share with you. So the first finished object is my Advent blanket. I'm so pleased to have got this done. I did a very simple border. I've literally just done one round of granny stitch around the outside of this. So it's just really, really simple. But this blanket used the 2020 Advent calendar from Erin of Henny Penny Makes, and it was inspired by pantomimes. And I used 2 colours per row, and I did them in order that they came in the Advent calendar. So these were colours 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Oh, I can't do it. 11 and 12. 13 and 14, 15 and 16, 17 and 18, etc. I don't need to go through, but you can see all of the colours went in. And it is a really lovely kind of lap blanket size. It's just shorter than my wingspan. If I blocked it, it would probably be my wingspan, but to be honest, I'm quite happy to just leave it unblocked. It's a lovely lap blanket size. And I am going to very much enjoy using this on the sofa. I think you can just about see it all if I hold it up like that. I can't see what you can see, but hopefully you'll get a good gist. So yeah, that is finished. I finished one small Advent project during Advent, but of the 3 Advent projects that I had, this is the only big one that is finished. Yeah, so I'm really pleased to have got that done. I think I might do very similar this year and make a thing out of doing an Advent blanket, because I really, really enjoyed putting them in the order they came in, and I love a really simple crochet blanket like that. I just think there's something really kind of snuggly and colourful and fun about them, and they're relatively quick as blankets go as well. So yeah, I think I might do something very similar with one of my Advent calendars this year. Right, I'm so out of practice, I'm losing my breath. Either that or I'm just talking really, really, really fast. Another finished object, blanket square. So if you've been following along with both my business and my podcast, you'll know that I have been I run a monthly minis club through my website and through my business, through Giddy Yarns. Don't quite know how to put that. And each month you get 5 mini skeins, varying bases. I offer it in 10 gram, 20 gram and DK. And I've been using the DK minis to make up little blocks. So this was the January one. This was the February one. And I have finished the March one. This was the March one. So I love how this one's come out in the blocks. I particularly loved this colour and this colour. Really were my favourites from this set. So yeah, that's the March one. I have got the April colours all caked up and ready to go to cast on for the April square, but I won't show those yet because you should all have received them, I guess, by now, but I'd rather be careful, so we'll leave that for a little while. So yeah, I finished that as well, which is really nice. I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to join them, and I still haven't worked out. I want to use the leftovers, which I still haven't weighed, so I don't actually know how much I've got left from each 20 gram DK mini. But I want to use the leftovers to do something that puts them in order. I just haven't quite worked out what yet. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm all out of sorts this week. It feels very weird podcasting down here. And yeah, I'm out of practice. So, works in progress. I have got a couple of works in progress that I've made a little bit of progress on. Having had a rotten cold and having been quite busy work-wise as well, I've not really got as much knitting done. It's been a bit crazy here, so I haven't had chance to get as much knitting done. So I never feel like I've got a lot of progress to share with you, but I'll share what I've done. So, I've been working a little bit on my campsite cardie, and I am so close to being finished. So frustrating that I've not finished it yet. I'm so frustrated with myself for not just putting in the effort and getting it done. But I've been working on the border. This is going to be really hard to show you because it is on, I am working on the button band and the needles are not long enough. But this, is it the right way up, I think? Yeah, so you've seen this a lot. So this is my campsite cardie. It's a pattern by Alicia Plummer, and I'm knitting it in Eden Cottage Yarns in the black tulip colourway, and it's their, it's this. This is what the yarn looks like. It's their Milburn DK base, which is 85% blue-faced Leicester, 15% silk. And yeah, this is the black tulip colourway. I had to buy an extra couple of balls. I think I ordered 3 extra balls because I ran out. The pattern, I originally bought the yarn for a different pattern, and obviously I didn't have enough, but it's fine. I've got 1 unopened ball left, and I'm about this far onto the current one I'm working on. So I might need to break into that final ball for but I'm not sure. It's hard to judge, isn't it? Anyway, I am working on the button bands, as I said, so nothing overly exciting, just working on those ribbed button bands. I could calling it a button band, but it isn't technically because there's no buttons, basically. It's an open fronted cardigan, so I haven't got to put buttonholes or anything like that in, and then I'm definitely going to have to give it a good block, and hopefully it will fit. Fingers crossed, hey. I can't put it on to show you, but yeah, it's coming along slowly. I'm hoping. I can't remember how long I need to do the rib. Let's work this out, shall we? So let's look at the pattern. I need to do front edging, work that for 2.5 inches. And I am currently at, I must have a tape measure in here somewhere. I do. Oh, I've got this tape measure used to be my grandma's. It only measures in inches. It's a wooden one. And yeah, it only measures in inches. Not that you can see that because it's going to focus on my face. But it's very old. It might even have used to be my great grandma's. I'm not 100% sure. But it makes me happy every time I use it. Right, I have done not even 1.5 inches. So I've got just over 1 inch to go on the button band of this. So yeah, maybe another week or so, maybe another couple of weeks. If I really work on it and put some energy into it, then I could probably get it done this week. But 2x2 rib in that many stitches in a row can be a bit tedious. I really want to cast on the love note that I dyed up yarn for, so I need to finish this first. Yeah, I need to get this done. Right, the other thing I've worked on a little bit, which is something I have not worked on for quite some time, I'm dropping things on the floor, is my Raven shawl. I think I shared this last time on the podcast because I'd picked it up again, and I've added a bit more to it. I have now added the second colour. So I've got no idea where I was when I last shared this, but I am working on the striped section. So this pattern is the Raven shawl, which is a pattern by Liz Ward Designs, and she very, very kindly gifted me the pattern when I was looking for something to use as a sample for my BFL silk base. And that's what I'm using. So these are two of my BFL silk skeins. This one is amethyst and emerald, and I think in this light you can actually see quite nicely. They're very much kind of tonal colourways. They're what I call kind of subtly speckled. So they are speckled colourways, but they're speckled in similar colours to the base colour. So it's not too in your face with the speckling. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, I really like them because it adds a little bit of depth and colour to the colourway, but it's also still quite simple without it just being a plain bland flat colour. Does that make sense? So yeah, this is how I'm getting on. I've just started adding in, it's getting washed out slightly in this light unfortunately, but I've just started adding in, and I'm also showing you the back. Let's try that, that's better. Started adding in the stripes, and then you have a section which is eyelets as well. So I've done the first eyelet section. I really like the way that the eyelet section is done in the purple, but you've got the stripes of green either side. I really like the effect that that gives. I think this shawl is going to be a really nice kind of, it's going to really show well with the two contrasts between the green and the purple. So yeah, I have done a small amount on this, and I am looking forward to getting a bit more progress done on this. It's really, really simple. It's a lovely, simple knit. It's not too complicated. So yeah, it is very, very simple. And I need to just put more work into it because that's life, isn't it? You need to work on things to get them finished, really. Can't just sit there in their project bags by the sofa while you do other things and magically knit themselves. If only that worked, that would be amazing, but unfortunately not. Right, I've also cast on a couple of other things. So the first thing is, of course, a gnome, because there's a new mystery gnome knit along running at the moment. I am behind, but let me see if I can get stuff out of this bag. Hang on a minute. I picked 3 colours. So these are the 3 colours that I have chosen. These are all from Craft House Magic, and their colours, they're mini skeins. I'm just throwing them around. I've just knocked a pen on the floor. They're mini skeins from her lockdown mini bundle that she did probably about this time last year. And I just really liked the way the colours worked together. So I've used this one for the hat, this one for the beard, and I'm going to be using this one for the body. And I've knit the hat and the beard so far, but I haven't started picking up stitches for the body. So I'm probably 2 clues behind, I think. So hopefully I won't be spoiling this for anyone. But this gnome is cabley. So come on camera, focus on it. So here is the hat. It's got this lovely kind of textured cable effect up the front, and then you've got these lovely kind of cables that go up the sides as well. So yeah, one hat, and then here's the beard. I've got to make sure I'm showing the front of the beard. Yeah, which was a lot simpler of a beard than I was expecting with a cabled gnome. It needs blocking, but she says not to block it at this point. So we will see how it looks once it's on. But I'm liking the way that the colours are working together with the hat and the beard. I think it's going to be really nice with the body behind. So yeah, as always, very, very fun, very quick clues. I'm sure I will be able to catch up with that with just a couple of evenings worth of knitting. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I think this gnome is called Nathan, I'm not sure, but when he's done, he will join the other gnomes on my shelf in my office. And hopefully at some point we'll sort out a decent podcast location where Tom won't be working, and I'll be able to have the gnomes back in the background again. Okay, and the other thing I've cast on is some little samples, and I just thought I would share. A lot of you, well, I put a thing the other day about small samples and kind of what people like to see. And I was kind of thinking, I just wanted to create some little samples. It reminds me, I need to block this one actually. Some little samples, both knit and crochet, that give you a bit of an idea as to how things knit up. Obviously, the problem with samples is that you're only seeing how something knits up in one specific way. But what I've done and what I've gone with, got yarn everywhere, is I have just created some little kind of socks. Basically, it's part of a sock. It's a 60 stitch tube. And what I actually did was I cranked it on my sock machine, which was really handy. So they all kind of came out in a long tube like this, and I just kind of did a rough amount of each, with just some waste yarn at the top and bottom. And then what I'm doing is I'm just picking up the stitches and adding a rib on each end to separate them. So they're just little ribbed tubes. And then I've also done little crochet squares of each colour as well. So just a little simple kind of crochet square, so you can kind of get an idea for how the different colourways crochet up, as well as how they knit up. And my plan is to be able to use these for photographs on the website and things like that. I won't be able to do it for every single colourway, but I am planning to do it for all of my regular collections. So the Little Women collection, the Winnie the Pooh collection, Flower Fairies and the Bedtime Stories and the Cupcake collection. I will do it for all of those, the ones that are kind of regular and available dyed to order and stuff like that. So you can get a bit of a feel for how things knit up before you purchase, basically. But the ones I've got completely finished so far are Lime and Coconut, which are these two. So that's one of the cupcake ones. I've also done Acorn Fairy. I love this one. I love how this one knits up. It's really, really pretty. So it's Acorn Fairy. I've done the Daisy Fairy as well. Again, this is another one that knits up really nicely because it kind of micro stripes, getting washed out a little bit in this light, but it kind of micro stripes, and I really like that one. I have done Lavender Fairy. I just need to block the crochet square. And I've also done the Primrose Fairy as well, so you can kind of see how that one knits up. And I'm working on, so we've got the Cornflower Fairy, which is that one there, and I've got the corresponding crochet ones because I've done all those. So that's the crochet of the Cornflower Fairy. So it's really interesting to see the difference, because this one micro stripes in the knitted, but because obviously crochet works out differently, you get a bit more of a blotchy kind of effect with the crochet for this one. And I've also got, so I'm currently adding the rib to oh, come here. I'm currently adding the rib to this one, which is the birthday party one. And again, I've got the little crochet one there as well. And then on here, we've got Earl Grey and Lemon, a bit of random Lavender Fairy, Earl Grey and Lemon, Lemon and Blueberry Cupcakes. I love how this one knits up. I really do like this one. Orange, Chocolate Orange, and then Strawberry and Vanilla. Oh, I've dropped a stitch on that one. Look, just spotted. I've obviously missed a stitch when I've picked them up. I'll have to rescue that shortly. In fact, let me just pop a stitch marker on it so that it doesn't get any worse. There we go. Oh, missed. Rescued. Okay. And then, yeah, again, I've got those crocheted up so you can see Earl Grey and lemon. No. Yeah, Earl Grey and lemon. Lemon and blueberry. Chocolate orange. And strawberry and vanilla. So yeah, I'm hoping to get these all on the website and work on little samples of some of the other collections as and when I've got chance to kind of dye them up again. And it works well with those collections because I've got mini skeins of them all, so I can just take a 20-gram mini skein and work up a little sample with that rather than having to take whole full skeins out of the shop for samples, because that then gets a bit difficult because you end up with just too many skeins of yarn coming out of the shop from a financial perspective. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on this week, which is probably why there's been less knitting, because although it's a lot faster to be able to just literally put a little rib on the end of each of these samples, it still takes me quite a lot of time, and that's kind of what I've been focusing on basically. But there is some blanket progress. I picked up, having finished my blanket, just move some bits and pieces. Oops. Having finished my Advent blanket, I picked up another blanket that has been unused for a long time, and it is living in my absolutely gorgeous, massive project bag from So Can Jo. These were the Perth Festival exclusive kind of ones that I don't think I shared it on the last podcast because I didn't have it with me, but I purchased it through the Perth Festival marketplace things. It's amazing. It's such a good size. And I am working on, in fact, I'll show you how good a size it is. I've got in here, okay, the blanket. I've got another project bag in here with all the minis in as well. And in fact, oh, and a notion. So I've got a notions kit. I've got a project bag full of minis. And then I've also got the kind of blanket that I'm working on, and there's still loads more room in it. So I've picked up my Hexagon blanket, which I hadn't worked on in absolutely ages. And I just love it so much. I just want to keep adding hexagons to it. I've had to kind of stop and back off from it a little bit so that it wasn't all I was working on. Otherwise, I just wasn't going to get other projects finished, and I wasn't going to get samples finished and all of this kind of thing. But this is where I'm at with it so far. And I have added recently, I've added this square here, which is actually my chocolate orange colourway, but this is the original one from right back when I did it originally. I had some scraps left over from that. I've added this one here, which is, this is another one of mine. This is Eeyore. I've added this one here, which is a Lay Family yarn. This was their Crocus colourway. They did this one for the Flower Power Fund. I added this one here, which I don't know what this one is, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Really stunning. And then I added that one as well, which again, this is the birthday party cupcakes. But this was the original one. And I had some leftovers from it that were just in this bag. But I've got a whole host of mini skeins in here, all ready to kind of crochet up and add in. Each of these hexagons uses 10 grams, which is what I was aiming for when I kind of came up with the idea for this blanket. I wanted something that was going to use a decent chunk of a mini. So either I could actually get 10-gram minis and they could just go in this blanket and use up most of it, or it would use up more leftovers. Rather than, a lot of the time they only use kind of 5 grams or less. I wanted something that was going to use up a decent sized leftover. So each one uses kind of just shy of 10 grams. And then I'm just joining them together as I go. I don't want to like make up all the hexagons first and then add them and join them. I literally wanted to join them as I go so that they're all so that the blanket grows without me having to join them all at the end. Does that make sense? So basically I pick a colour, I work out where it's going to fit in terms of the other colours on the blanket, and then I add it in. I am trying to make this blanket a little bit more pastel-y, not too many bright pops of colour in. There's a couple that are kind of like, this one's a little bit darker, and the same with kind of this one here is a little bit darker, but on the whole I'm trying to aim for kind of a pastel-y mix of colours. Goodness knows whether that will work or not. We will see, but I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far, and I just want to work on it. It's just so lovely to work on, but I need to get other things done. Other things are more important than my lovely blanket that I just want to spend all my time working on. Right, Yarny Goodness. I do have some Yarny Goodness to share with you. One of the things I actually don't have over here, which is a bit frustrating looking at my show notes, the next month of the Henny Penny Makes Colour Therapy Club arrived, and this month is yellow. And I'm still working on the orange square because I'm behind with everything at the moment. I'm still working on the orange square, but next time I share that, I will show you the yellow minis as well because they are stunning. I also had a couple of other things arrive in the post. First of all, I ordered the lovely minis from Laura at The Lonely Knitter, or Bumbling Yarns. And this month, the month that I ordered was Once Upon a Time inspired. Well, is it called Once Upon a Time? The TV series. Basically, I'm not making any sense here. This is Bumbling Yarns Scrappy Minis Club, Scrappy Yarn Club. And I think you have a choice of what size of minis you want. I went with just the 5 gram minis, and I've had a couple of these now. I ordered the Buffy the Vampire Slayer one. Each month is inspired by a different TV series. I ordered the Buffy the Vampire Slayer one, and this one is inspired by the TV series Once Upon a Time. And they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. If I can get it without the light of the window reflecting on, you can see. I haven't even taken them out of the packet yet. It's been so chaotically busy here. But they are stunning. And I still don't quite know what I'm going to do. I'm not ordering every month. I'm just picking months where the TV series that Laura's doing particularly appeals to me. It's a TV series that I've watched and enjoyed. So I'm going to have a bit of a mishmash. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to keep them all until the end of the year. And then I'm going to have a look and see how much yarn I've got from them. And I'm going to think of a project that I can do using all of them, depending on how many I end up purchasing. But they are gorgeous, and Laura is amazing. If you are at Unravel this weekend, then Laura is vending. It's her first show vending, and she's vending at Unravel. So yeah, she needs good luck, and it's a massive show, and she's going to be absolutely amazing. I know she's very nervous. Right, what else? I also got a very lovely gift from a lovely viewer of the podcast who ordered this and had it sent to me. And she said she ordered it and had it sent to me because she figured that if she was sending one to somebody as a gift, then it didn't count as much when she added one to her stash as well, which I loved the logic. So thank you very much. This is a gorgeous skein of Dubai Knits self-striping sock yarn. And the colourway is A Creek Runs Through It. And this colourway is the colourway for Mina Phillips of Knitting Expat is running is it called the Around the World Sock Club, where each month she's releasing a new sock pattern based on a different country of the world. And she's got different dyers linked to the sock club. So this is, I think, is this the May one or is this the June one? I'm not 100% sure. I did look it up and now I've completely forgotten. But it's absolutely stunning. So this is going to be a fun pair of socks at some point in the future. I need to get back to knitting my socks. I've got really behind with knitting socks, and I still haven't finished the legs of the picnic blanket socks. I really need to crack on with them. So that is all the Yarny Goodness. A little tiny bit of shop news. I don't actually have anything to share with you. I just wanted to tell you about a few bits and pieces. So first off, summer treat boxes pre-orders are open in the shop. So basically it's very similar to my Christmas Eve box and my Easter treat box. You get a sock set or 100 grams of DK, it's your choice. So the sock set will be 100 grams plus a mini, and you can choose any of my kind of sock bases for that, or you've got the option of DK, which will just be 100 grams of DK. Although having said that, I probably could have done, oh no, because my DK base is a no nylon base, so people probably wouldn't have wanted to make socks out of it. I was about to say I probably could have done a DK sock set, because I've got DK minis now, but yeah, my actual main 100 gram skein isn't a sock set. Would people be interested in DK sock sets? Would that be worth offering as an option? I'm not sure. If I was to get a merino nylon DK base, let me know. Anyway, summer treat boxes, same basic concept. The inspiration image, in fact, I will pop up the image here so you can see. This is the inspiration image for the summer sock boxes, summer treat boxes. And basically you get the sock set or the yarn inspired by that image. You also get a little summary progress keeper, a sweet treat. I'm going to include a couple of fruit teas in this one. And you also get a couple of summer scented Yankee tea light candles. So it's just a really little kind of sweet, a little treat for yourself. I know that during the summer holidays, in fact, these summer holidays are going to be particularly challenging. So sometimes you just need a little pick-me-up, don't you? The pre-orders are open at the moment and they close at the end of May. And then the boxes will ship at the end of June, because my thinking was that my kids break up for the school holidays on the 25th of June because we're in Scotland. So I wanted to get it out there for anyone in Scotland. It would be there for the summer holidays. But if you are in England or elsewhere else in the world, I don't know where else in the world the school holidays work. But if you're in England, certainly you can save it until the school holidays start, or you can just knit it up and have it as a little treat for the summer holidays. Or if you don't have kids and you just want it to be a nice little thing that you could work on when you're sitting in your garden and relaxing during the summer. That was the thought anyway. But yeah, pre-orders, I'm rambling so much and my buzzer is beeping as well. Pre-orders are open until the end of the month. I am just going to turn my buzzer off and then I will tell you the last couple of things and we'll talk about a little bit of life stuff. Okay, I'm back. The buzzer's off. It was just, I've got my self-striping steaming. I'd steam set it again after I've dyed it so that there's absolutely no chance of colour running between the stripes. Yeah, it had finished steaming, so I just needed to turn it off. Right, what else did I want to tell you about? Summer treat boxes I've talked about. The other thing I was just going to say, a couple of other things, was, first of all, the cupcake yarns, the cupcake collection is now available in the shop. There are full skeins available across a couple of different bases. The full skeins are also all available dye to order. So if there's any of them that kind of really pick your fancy, tweak your fancy, whatever you want to say, and you fancy a sweater size, or I've not got it in the base that you want, or anything like that, then you can do it dye to order. And it says on the website that dye to order turnaround is roughly 2 to 3 weeks. I'm generally at the moment getting them out within 1 to 2 weeks of an order, but I like to leave a slightly longer allowance just in case things go wrong. There's also some mini bundles left as well with 20 gram mini skeins of each colour, all available on the website. And the other thing I was going to talk about was quickly shows. The 12th and 13th of June, I am vending at both Wool Monty at Home and also Yarn Craft Festival as well. Both are virtual shows and will be hosted on various platforms. So Yarn Craft Festival, I will be going live on the Yarn Craft Festival Instagram page at, I think my slot is 3:40 on Sunday the 13th of June. And Monty at Home, I'm still ironing out details of quite what's happening there. But if it's similar to last year, they will be having a selection of pre-recorded videos that will be going up during the day on both Instagram and Facebook. I will also be doing a live on my Instagram page, probably on the Saturday, as well. I've got quite a lot coming to the shop for that weekend. I will be restocking quite a few colourways and collections and stuff like that. I'm also planning on launching a whole host of kind of summer sock sets, basically. I'm going to be offering both 70 gram and 120 gram sock sets in lots of lovely kind of summery colours. And I'm also going to have self-striping for that update. I should have more than I had in my last self-striping update, assuming everything goes smoothly. They're all warped. They're all warped, and I've dyed half of them. I just need to get through the winding in time. That's the challenge. So I will have 4 self-striping colourways. I am bringing back It's Complicated, which was the grey and pink stripes that I launched back earlier this year when I had a self-striping update. I can't remember when it was. I am bringing back It's a Rainy Sunny Day, which actually is this one here. You won't be able to see it very well, but it's this one here. So it's the blue, the thicker stripe of blue with the rainbow, the thin rainbow stripes. I am also bringing back Ocean Breeze, which is one of my favourite self-striping colourways. I don't have a sample to show you down here, but you will see. And I'm also bringing to the shop for the first time a colourway called Raspberry Mojito, which is a self-striping colourway that I did a couple of years ago for Gem of the Little Grey Girl, her mystery gem, and she's given me permission to launch it out into the wild, which is very fitting because the theme for Yarncraft's festival this time round is what's your favourite tipple? So we're all bringing kind of drinks-inspired colourways to the festival, and I'm going to be doing my Raspberry Mojito self-striping, so that seems about perfect. Yeah, so that's that big shop update on the 12th and 13th of June. I think what I will do is, because of the self-striping and how fast the self-striping can sometimes go, what I am planning on doing is actually having 2 shop updates. So I will have one on June, probably on kind of the afternoon, the evening of June. I haven't worked out the dates or times yet. I will be popping out a newsletter before the festival, probably at the beginning of June. I'll be doing a newsletter with everything that will be going in the update. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, email newsletter, and you'd like to, there should be a link down below the video. I tend to only send one out kind of once a month, but it gives you an idea of what's coming in, any shop updates and stuff like that. So what I will probably do is have a big proper kind of shop update on the Saturday with most of the stuff, but only half the self-striping. And then on the Sunday, I will probably have another shop update after my live with Yarncraft, which will be the remaining self-striping. And then pretty much anything else I will have popped up dyed to order anyway. So if it does sell out, you'll be able to get it dyed to order, and it will just take a couple of weeks to get to you. Yeah, so that is the plan anyway. Right, life stuff. So if you watched my April vlogs, did I do April vlogs? I did April vlogs. Gosh, that seems a while ago. If you watched my April vlogs, you'll know that we were eventually successful in having an offer accepted on a house. We're currently in rented accommodation. We've lived here nearly 3 years now, but the house we're in, we rent. We were finally in a position to be able to buy, and we have had an offer accepted on a house locally. And so far, fingers crossed, things are going smoothly. Our mortgage offer has, the solicitor has our mortgage offer, which is amazing. We've actually got a mortgage, which was our stumbling block last time, not through any fault of our own, because we could get a mortgage, but the mortgage brokers ticked the wrong box and it all went wrong because of that. But yeah, we have a mortgage, and we have a completion date set for the 25th of June, which is like 5 weeks away, so not very long. And yeah, fingers crossed, things are going quite smoothly. I'm freaking out a little bit because There's the possibility that some of the festivals later in the year, Perth particularly, and I just still don't know about Glasgow, but they could be going ahead physically if restrictions allow and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking thinking about having the kids off school for the entire summer holidays and moving house and having to get advents and show prep and general stuff done. A little bit nerve-wracking, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it in the long run once we've moved into our own home and we can do what we want to it, and fingers crossed everything goes smoothly. So keep your fingers crossed for me and us and everything. Right, I'm going to leave it there. This is such a disjointed podcast and I feel like it's been all over the place because I'm out of practice. But I am hoping going forward to be able to kind of record a weekly one, but just during the week like this, in an afternoon or something like that. It may be a little bit more disjointed. If I'm dyeing yarn, then I might need to just do it in sections and go back and forth to my yarn in between. But I'm sure we can work that out so that it's not too much of an issue for you viewing it. And then we'll see how things go with moving, and I'll have to find a new podcasting spot. But anyway, thank you very much for watching and putting up with me being out of practice, and I will see you all again very soon, I promise. Bye.